Hello and welcome to this month's the sales tip for March 2020. And we're going to be focusing on what you can do proactively in order to manage your activity to be more effective in a period of sales downturn, like a recession, which we're not in. But I'm sure that for many of you watching this, if not all of you, it feels rather like that right now. I'm not going to mention the dreaded C word, but let's be candid about it. I'm sure our customers are suffering at the moment. Their revenues are going like that, which means that the budgets available for purchasing are going like that, if purchasing hasn't ceased altogether, of course. Meanwhile, our targets aren't going to change, are they? So what can we do about this? Now, I noted with interest during the last proper recession that we had, when I was judging the National Sales Awards, that while most sales organisations were complaining that they were unable to achieve their objectives because of the economic environment, the finalists at the National Sales Awards had actually obliterated their targets. Now, why was that? Well, probably because they got on with selling, but got on with selling in a smart way in order to ensure that they were managing the situation as best as they could. And this month's tip is going to focus on just a handful of things that they did. Now, let's be realistic. I'm not going to pretend that this is going to be a panacea, which means that all targets are going to be hit as a consequence of doing these things. However, if you're not achieving what you want to right now, we know the old saying, first sign of madness is doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result. Well, why not do something different and see if it works? Here are 4 recommendations for you regarding what you should be doing right now to proactively manage yourself in a challenging environment. Number 1, the natural reaction when we're beginning to lose sales and the environment is difficult is to start pursuing lots of different opportunities. Makes sense, doesn't it? Don't. And that's tip number 1. Don't start pursuing lots of different opportunities. Now, there's 2 reasons for that. Number 1 is you start diluting your efforts too much. Now, what that means is, in an environment which is, and let's be candid about this, very quickly now becoming increasingly competitive because of what's happening around us, we're now putting in less effort to each opportunity. It doesn't make sense. Conversion rates come down as a consequence. The second reason is when you start chasing after a lot of opportunities, because of the way that our activity has been diluted, we can come across as a little bit desperate. And that, again, impacts negatively on results and conversion ratios and numbers of wins. So, recommendation number 1, don't start pursuing lots of opportunities. Recommendation number 2 is going to be the opposite of that. Start pursuing less. Now, the reaction to that immediately might be, pursue less opportunities? Tim, are you crazy? No. What I'm saying is this is what a lot of organisations did during the last recession, and this strategy proved to be very effective and successful. Because what happens is when you identify the opportunities that you're more likely to win, identify the opportunities that you're less likely to win, and put those on one side, that means that you've liberated more time to focus even more activity on the opportunities that you're more likely to win anyway. And conversion ratios and wins go up as a consequence. Recommendation number 2, reduce the number of activities that you're pursuing. Recommendation number 3 actually links to that, and that is be really clear on the qualification criteria that describe the opportunities that you're more likely to win. That ensures that you remove out of the process any subjectivity on your part and any feelings of, yeah, I kind of quite like that key account, or I've got a good feeling about this. You can't afford, in challenging times like we're moving into right now, to be anything other than scientific and precise in your choice of the opportunities that you're pursuing. Get away from the, yeah, I think that's a good way forward, to, no, scientifically I can justify this decision. Be really clear on the qualification criteria that describe the opportunities that you're more likely to win. Recommendation number 4. As part of the qualification criteria, identify what it is that tells you which opportunities you're going to be more able to cross-sell and upsell in. The logic behind that is a mathematical one. The most efficient way of increasing selling efficiency isn't to put more activity into the sales funnel, isn't to improve your appointment winning ability, isn't anything else. Mathematically, the moment that you increase the value of the sale, the amount of activity that's required in your sales pipeline to achieve your objectives comes down. It makes good sense, therefore, to be pursuing in these challenging times the opportunities where it's more likely you're going to be able to upsell and or cross-sell. So let's be realistic. We're in challenging times right now, and that's going to be the case for a little while now. The professional salespeople out there will, of course, be concerned, like we all are, but they'll be concerned and they will be taking appropriate action. The appropriate action isn't to do the same thing over again and expect a different result. The appropriate action is to be as efficient as you can with your sales activity. There are other things as well that you can do. We haven't got time on a brief sales tip to go through them all, but 4 of them right at the top of my list would be: number 1, don't start pursuing lots of opportunities. Number 2, pursue less opportunities out there. Number 3, be clear on the qualification criteria that describe those best opportunities. And number 4, ensure that those qualification criteria you're using is a way of establishing whether prospects are likely upsell and or cross-sell opportunities. Hope that makes sense. A little bit more serious, the sales tip, the tone of it for this month, quite rightly too. Go make success happen. Look forward to seeing you next month.